Hey everyone, welcome to Hammerhead Hobbies. In this episode, I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing this Henkel HE112 by Heller. Alright, welcome back. Now we're going to be unboxing this Heller Henkel HE112. It is a 1:72 scale. The kit number is 240, and this particular model was made in 1979, so it's an older kit. Taking a look at the instructions, they are very basic. So basically the whole assembly is on one picture. So you can see here, there's not a lot of pieces, so they can attach it all to one little picture. Okay, and this is the paint and decal guide over on the bottom here. Now if you flip the instructions over, you can see it's all writing. Starting off with a brief history and background of the airplane. They give you a parts list, so that's what's on the sprues and the part number that's on there. There's instructions for assembly, the colors, okay, how to put the decals on, and basic assembly of the fuselage. So here it says glue 18 onto 24, glue 15 onto 23, and so on. The assembly of the wings, the finishing, and some important notices. So very basic. There's some reading to do, so I would read through that before I started assembling the airplane. Moving on to the decals. Now there are very basic decals, so basically it's just the insignias, so the German and the Romanian, and then you can just see the basic number, and that is all the decals are. They look like they're in pretty good shape. They're slightly yellowed, but you know, putting these out in the sunlight for a couple days should clear them right up. And that's all I have to say about the decals, because there's not really much to say. Let's get into the sprues. So this is the fuselage, and you can see there's some nice detail on the panel lines of the fuselage. Now these are raised panel lines, again indicative of the age of the model. They usually just put raised panel lines because it was just easier to make the dies. Okay, we'll flip it over to take a look at the interior. They got some beautiful detail on the interior. You can see some levers and wiring. Beautiful detail on the interior. There's beautiful detail on the exterior. Again, take it that it is raised, and it shouldn't make a big difference. There are methods of making raised panel lines look really nice. Moving over to the next sprue with the wings, and again you can see beautiful panel lines on the wings, raised again. We'll go back to the elevators or horizontal stabilizers, and again beautiful details there. You see the rear wheel, there's not much detail on the rear wheel. It is a small piece, and they didn't put any detail on that. And then the wheel well covers, there's no detail on those either. Flipping it over, going over to the wheel well covers, they did put some good detail on the inside there, and again the horizontal stabilizers, great detail with panel lines there. Looking at the bottom of the wing, there's beautiful detail there. Okay, similar to the top portion of the wing. And we're going over to the cowling, and again good detail there. And over here with the exhaust that's built in, it's not separate, so again it's just going to be harder to paint. Looking at the landing gear, if you look at the wheels, they're very basic. We do have the instrument panel here from the cockpit, and again they do have some, looks like gauges in there or instruments that you can see. This is the basic cockpit over here. Another piece. looking at the landing gear over here, the wheel struts. These are nice. They're fairly detailed. They're thin, which is a little different for a model this age. They used to have thick, bulky, and smooth landing gear. This one looks very nice and thin. And same with the propeller. It's a nice dimension. It's not over bulky. It's nice and thin. Flipping the screw over. Now you can see the wheel hubs here. They did give us some detail in there. Okay, and the seat is pretty basic. I mean, the airplanes back in those days, they had very basic seats, kind of like a little bucket, and then they have just a basic cushion on top of that. But everything else looks really nice. Moving over to the canopy, it is clear. You can see through it. It's a little thick and wavy, and it does look like there's some imperfections in it. If you were to do a good job of the interior, they did give us some nice interior detail, and you put this canopy over it, you can see how it just distorts everything inside. You can barely read anything below this glass. So I would try and get a new glass, or maybe cut it to make it an open canopy. But this is not a very good glass considering the quality they put into the rest of the model. They really cheaped out on the canopy. So again, this is the Heller Heinkel HE112 in 1:72 scale. And if you stick around, I'll give you a pros and cons list and a quick summary about what I think about this model. Okay, now for the pros and cons. Pros. There's excellent exterior detail on this kit. There's great interior detail. It's easy to assemble regardless of the poor instructions. Now for the cons. Instructions could be more detailed. There's very basic decals included. Could use more detail on the wheels and the wheel wells. And the canopy is thick and very wavy. Overall, this is a good model for beginners. Could be a quick build for more experienced modelers. And the canopy does not suit this kit and would have to be altered to the open position to show off the interior detail. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope you enjoyed the build.